Any first-year test pilot knows you pull back on the side stick, not forward. Of course it would cause a blowout in damper 3. And if I actually knew what any of that meant, I would have been right there on the radio to make sure Colonel Steve Austin yanked it in the right direction. But it was clever enough language to convince us it caused him to crash, but now he resides in relative peace in my studio with his friends. The $6 Million Man was, at least to me, the undisputed television king of the 70s. Every 10-year-old kid, present company included, made that noise when they ran or lifted something, furrowed one eyebrow for that authentic Steve Austin stare down, or dreamed of being an undercover operative for an alphabet agency and being sent on international missions. He was better than James Bond, who sure had cufflinks that could shoot like a machine gun, but Steve Austin had legs that could run faster than a fart in the wind, an eyeball like a keyhole satellite that could see you fucking up from 100 miles away, and if you're going to toss the football around with him, make sure you wear a steel jock. The opening credit sequence where he smashes his experimental shuttlecraft into the desert floor and doing about 40 endos in the process was actual footage from a real crash. And even if it wasn't, it felt real to me when I was 8 years old, and I spoke along with Oscar Goldman as he narrated the rebuild pitch he was making to the gentleman. The series started off in 1973 with 3 made-for-TV movies, and the weekly show wasn't too far behind. In my books, I don't think there was a single Jump the Shark episode unless you count the final season, when ratings dropped and they started recycling popular material from earlier in the series, like more Sasquatch and Death Probe episodes. No complaints from me about it. The Secret of Bigfoot Part 1 and 2 is widely considered the most popular storyline in the entire series. The Beast, portrayed by Andre the Giant, plays the part like a champ, and the fight scene between him and the Bionic Man actually did freak me out a little when I was that age. Steve Austin throws him to the ground and he bounces right back up like, "That's all you got, bitch." And no, it wasn't when he yanks his arm clean off. I have the entire series on DVD, but you can watch it on various online services like Apple TV. After the series ended, they rebooted about a decade later with another 3 made-for-TV movies with an aged, but always badass Lee Majors who could still flip cars and jump buildings. These included the Bionic Woman, who had her own series at the same time in the 70s and was a love interest. That was right before her body rejected her bionic implants and she ended up with amnesia, effectively spelling the end of her romance with Colonel Steve Austin. Though they did intersect paths many times in crossover episodes and eventually married in the final TV movie. Got an old Steve Austin action figure? Let's check out the features. The bionic arm. Mine doesn't work, of course, but back in the day, he was dishing out the people's elbow long before The Rock ever came along. The bionic eye makes everything look like it should be in a Beastie Boys video. The bionic legs are not really indicated as such like the arm is, and doesn't have any triggerable push buttons to make them work. You just have to move them into a running position and make the noise. But the action figure came with enough accessories that you could still send him on many adventures as you wanted, and I found endless covert missions inside my own house, and he would always get the job done when called into action. The value. Let's see how much he's going for these days on eBay. My old one, no box, no accessories, and clothes looking like it was manhandled by an angry dog. Here's the asking price for one in similar condition. But if you have one in mint condition, you could be sitting on some serious cash. But who would want to sell a mint Steve Austin? They also came out with almost everything that was popular in the series. An Oscar Goldman, Sasquatch, Bionic Woman, Spaceship Thing, lunchboxes, thermoses, and many other things. The 1970s was like the golden age of drama television. Even the sitcoms of the decade had an air of drama to the point where they'd be referred to as dramedies, like MASH and All in the Family. Nighttime TV had adventure elements that have gone unparalleled since, with shows like The Bionic Ones, Emergency, Chips, Dukes of Hazzard, and you couldn't swing a dead cat without hitting a crime drama like Quincy, or practically anything by Quinn Martin. Emergency probably ran somewhere as a close second equal in my ratings books, but Colonel Steve Austin, astronaut, the man barely alive before being brought back better than he was before, will always reign supreme as the undisputed champion of the wood grain era. He and I thank you for watching.